Well, this just might be the most simple van conversion we've ever done. It is windy, so let's go inside. So this is our first Ford Transit build, but this is a base build. So it is very, very basic. We've never actually done a more basic conversion. Most of our clients come to us for our really big full conversions, but this client was actually local to us in Boise, Idaho, and they're big avid campers, but they're getting older and they don't want to set up a tent all the time. So this was the perfect solution for them. It was a budget build, but it gives them somewhere to sleep that they don't have to set up a tent when they go camping. So this is a 2024 148 Transit wheelbase, and it's the mid roof. So I am 5'6", I can stand up in here. This is actually the lowest section of the ceiling. I have no problem standing up in this full conversion, but for reference, I am 5'6". So if you're a little bit taller than me, you wouldn't really necessarily want to go for the mid roof. Now, again, basic conversion, we did our lawn seal marine grade flooring here on the floor. This is a really nice flooring because it's so easy to scrub and keep clean. We did a simple ceiling. So this is a ceiling we've never done before. It is 1/4 inch white oak with a Rubio finish on it with exposed screws, but it just looks super clean. It still gives you that nice warm wood tone inside your van, but keeps it a little bit more simple and a little bit more budget conscious. Now up front, we built in a Dometic kind of cooler style fridge. So it releases by sliding that over, and then this whole thing pulls out. And then that way you can access the top loading portion. This is a 45-liter fridge, and you can fit a ton in here. Super easy to control just by the controls here on the front. And then same thing to put it back. You actually have to slide. Oh, it didn't lock all the way out. So it does kind of lock once you pull it all the way out, and then to push it back in, you slide that over and slide it back in, and locks in place. We did keep this space open up front. They actually have a toilet they're gonna be putting right here. We did install a vent fan for a little bit of climate control, and another one in the rear. And then we have this floor to ceiling closet storage. So this is just open storage inside. Nice, big, simple, but very functional. And then up top is the control for the EcoFlow. This is the first time we actually have done the EcoFlow system. It's the 2 kWh system. Such an awesome system, so easy, plug and play. The EcoFlow portion, the battery and everything, kind of the guts of the system are in this bench. So we do have a few electrical things down here. This is their main light switches on a dimmer. And then we did do one up here just for what we call their bathroom light, because they're gonna have the toilet up here. So one light switch there, and then the rest control there. We do have our standard household outlet and then 12-volt charging. And then these benches are kind of just open storage space. So we do have the fridge here. We have kind of their battery system here, but then these back sections are just completely open for storage. And we also have that on the passenger side. And then, as you can see here, we have this L-track installed along the walls and the ceiling for the Adventure Wagon, kind of soft-sided upper cabinet bags. I actually love these. I think these are so functional, easy to use. You can fit a ton in here, and you can also take the whole thing out. So it makes it really simple and easy to use. They have all sorts of different attachment points and the little pockets on the side. So I think this brings a nice color in here and functionality for these clients. So that's kind of it. There is no plumbing system in this van. Again, these were avid campers that didn't really care about having any plumbing in their van because they're used to setting up a tent and camping outside. So this allows them to sleep back here. They actually didn't want cushions because they already have kind of camping pads that they'll just put on each bench, and it's kind of like having 2 twin beds back here. So we did make these a little bit deeper than our standard bench in our other conversions so that they had a good size sleeping space to be able to sleep 2 people back here. But basic build, this is really kind of a camping rig. So I love that we finally got to do one of these. I think it turned out beautifully. It is simple, but still very beautiful and very functional. So now Alex is going to talk more about the EcoFlow and the electrical system, because we did still do solar on this van.
This is our very first Transit that we have done a full conversion on. So it was definitely a learning experience for us. There were a few things that we liked that we didn't like. We'll kind of talk about that, along with talking about kind of these clients' power needs and how this build kind of evolved. So when they first came to us, they actually just wanted like 2 bed boxes in there, insulation, walls, ceilings, and 2 vent fans, and that was it. And then as we kind of talked through what other options and things they might like, it was like, well, it could actually be nice if we had an inverter and a couple 110-volt outlets we could plug into oh, do you have any of those top loading fridge freezers, like, you know, fridge coolers? That would actually kind of be cool. So it was a fun evolutionary process with these clients as they decided, hey, maybe we do want a couple more comfort features. Maybe we do want a floor to ceiling cabinet. So at the end, what we came out with was this 148 Transit. We did end up installing 200 watts of rich solar up on the roof. With the Transit, it is different than the Sprinter. It doesn't have the roof rails to mount the solar to. So we use the DIY van attachment mounts up top with aluminum to mount their 200 watt solar up on top. And we use that in conjunction with the EcoFlow 2 kilowatt independence kit, which honestly I thought was pretty cool. The nice thing about this as a builder is that we were able to cut down on the install time, because if we're gonna build an entire Victron electrical system, it is windy up here at Lucky Peak today. My hair is nuts. Hope you guys enjoy it. With the typical Victron and Battle Born electrical system that we're building, that's quite time intensive. But with this system, it was really cool because it really is plug and play. So from this, let's talk a little bit about the Transit. There were a few funky things we were working with this conversion, never having built in a Transit before. The first thing was this thing came with a rear AC unit, and typically in a Sprinter, the rear AC unit is gonna be mounted on the roof. This one is mounted here in the back. So we had two things we had to deal with. One, maintenance in the future. If someone has to get to it, we wanna make it easy to access. Two, you have to have air intake, so you have to keep this open so the air can be intaked into the unit. And then the venting for the actual cool air, which is what you see up here on the wall. We rigged up some ducting lines and then we ran it to 2 vents, which we were able to install in the wall. Something we've never had to do before, but we were really happy with how it turned out. One of the other unique features is trimming out this back area. It's very different than a Sprinter again, and you actually have to keep this section open because this is where you lower down your spare tire from underneath the van. So we found this trim online. It was this trim piece and then also the sliding door step trim piece. And I think it did a great job of finishing this area off. And then because it is just a medium height roof, we also had the issue of how we make a beautiful ceiling without dropping the ceiling height down too much. So I'm about 5'10", and with this roof, we were able to put this 1/4 inch plywood ceiling up, and we only dropped the ceiling down a 1/4 inch. So we kept as much vertical height in the van as we possibly could. And again, it looks great. We were able to install our lights. They didn't want to go with like carpeted wall panels. They still wanted the white shiplap walls and the ceiling. And then it gave us great attachment points for the L-track. We did have to do some back cleating on the ceiling and on the walls in order to install this, because if you were to install this to just 1/4 inch plywood, obviously this is going to rip out. But our carpenter Beej made sure he back cleated this, so this is totally secure. Just a lot different than what you have seen us do before. So I'm sure if you've been watching our channel for a while and you've been wondering Sprinter Transit, this is probably pretty interesting for you. Here is the EcoFlow system. It's all here within this one cabinet or one side of the bench, which is really cool. So with this independent system, this big box essentially is your solar controller, your alternator DC to DC charger, your 3600 watt inverter, and your inverter charger, because it also charges the batteries through an AC input. And then over on this side, you have your kind of your junction box for your 12 volt fuses and then your 110 breakers. And then down here, you also have the batteries. That's the 2 kilowatt battery right there. So the whole thing is plug and play, and it works directly with this touchscreen console up here in the front. It's only at 9% right now. It's been in the shop and we didn't charge it up before we left, but it does have the alternator charging, and you can see right now with the system, we're bringing in 34 watts from their solar. It's pretty cloudy outside right now, but we are still getting that solar charge from their 200 watt solar panel. So a very fun build to do, very unique, very different, but as always, our team did a great job of making it functional and making it beautiful. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave us your comments down below or your questions about this build or our first experience building in a Transit, and we'll see you guys next time.